All right, YouTube, this is D right back at you with another update video for my Blackout XTE Pro. This one right here is the brushed version that I originally bought for my wife. I did do that conversion that I was telling you guys about in the original video from brush to brushless. It now has that system that I showed you guys here. And yeah, that I know that looks a hot mess right here, but it works. What ended up happening is that I didn't have those bullet. The ESC originally had the female bullet connectors on the end of it. However, the brush motor here did not have the male bulleted ends on it, so I ended up having to just solder everything together, put some Gorilla Tape on that temporarily. I'm going to eventually put some heat shrink on that, but for right now it holds up well. It gets all the power that it needs, and that's that on that. I still got my old trusty jerry-rigged cooling fan on here. Believe it or not, I bought this thing off of eBay about 2 to 3 years ago. It was only like 12 bucks, and it's still running and doing its job quite effectively. So I'm going to leave it on there despite its cosmetic shortcomings. So I guess I can just take this off here so you guys can get a better look at what it is that I'm saying. And like I am saying, or trying to say, this was originally the brush motor right here. I guess I could put it out for you guys for comparison. All right, so this is the original brush motor that came out of the car. I think this is a I think it's a 550 size, 550 size brush motor right there that originally came out of it. And this is a good motor. You know, this motor puts out a good amount of power, and I really enjoyed, you know, running the truck with this on it. My wife did as well. But I think that her driving skills has gotten a little bit better than what I originally thought. Than what they originally were. And you know, I'm going to just go ahead and upgrade her to this brushless system here. I did not change out the servo. The original servo of the brush. The only difference in between the brushless motor, the brushless Blackout XTE Pro and the brushed Blackout is the motor, the ESC, and the servo. Everything else is completely the same, and the battery, of course. I have to point that out as well. The brush version, of course, does not come with a Lipo. Of course, the brush version comes with nickel metal hydride. You get the 7.2 volt, which is essentially a 2S nickel metal hydride battery that at 3,000 milliamp hour. This is a hex fly. This is RedCat's go-to brand. So you have that being different, the motor being different, of course the ESC because it's a brush system being different, and the servo being different. So what I did was update the motor, and to match it went to a brushless motor, and of course you have to match that to a brushless ESC, and that was the only thing that I changed on. I left the servo as it is. Now the difference between the brushed servo and the brushless servo, I believe that the brushless one and the brushless systems are 15 kilograms, I believe, and the ones here in the brushed system, since it is lower power and torque than the brushless, I think they only put like an 8 to 9 kilogram servo here to control the steering. Someone can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but that's the only thing I didn't touch on it. So I haven't gotten around to like not even really adjusting any of the suspension or anything. All of that is left stock adjusted. So the same weight oil that So the same weight oil that came with the truck, shocks are still there in the shocks. Another thing is the same thing about the rear. What I like about the XTE is that, or the Blackout XTEs, is that the rear of the truck, as far as the setup, the suspension, and the drivetrain is an exact mirror of the front. So those parts are interchangeable, which is, something that I like about it. You can purchase basically an entire front end replacement, and it'll work for the rear as well. Same part numbers for all that stuff. So yeah, just a few of the upgrades, and another in addition to the brushless battery. Brushless motor and ESC. I also updated the battery to a 2S Lipo, and this is also a hex fly, and is also provided by RedCat Racing as well. So you got your 2S Lipo at 3200 milliamp hour at 20C's 20C rating. Now don't let that 20C rating don't look at that as being weak, because this battery got pretty good output and pretty good runtime. To be honest with you, it's not what I would consider one of the cheapest batteries out there I've ever purchased in terms of lipos, but it's reliable. It got a hard case on it, and I know it fits my tray right here perfect, because with the brushless versions of this truck, this is the exact battery that comes in the box with it. So I just went with what I knew was more compatible. So this 20C rating of this 2S Lipo does this truck really all the power that you're going to need and speed that you're going to need. And of course, if you want to get a little bit more speed out of the truck, upgrade to a 3S Lipo, just make sure that it fits your battery space right here. And this is all you're working with. So in comparison, what I would do, if I was you, I would take the dimensions of this battery right here and try to get something that fitted, Okay, like I was mentioning earlier, aside from the 2S Lipo, brushless motor, and brushless ESC, there are no major updates to the Blackout XTE Pro at this moment. What I will do, have a couple future projects coming up. For one, I have to go ahead and I'm thinking about exchanging the shocks here. These shocks right here have done me well, but on my previous version of this truck, I did update upgrade the shocks on them to a aluminum bodied shocks, and they were longer as well. These are kind of short in my opinion for this truck. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some that's about a ½ inch longer than that, and that'll give me more travel, like over curbs and bumps when I'm going off road. And I've learned that those longer shocks do a whole lot better for the truck, and I'm thinking of doing the same thing in the rear as well. Originally, I didn't change the rear setup as far as shocks, because I've seen, or I learned that in my case, as long as I kept the shocks a bit on the stiff side on the rear, that the front end with the longer shocks on them could handle all of the up and down, the brunt of the bumps, and the rear end would pretty much just squat upon acceleration. It would pretty much just squat. So with keeping it fairly stiff, it would maintain its balance pretty well, as long as I updated or upgraded the quality of oil within the shock itself. So put a stiffer weight oil in the back. Same thing up here. So if I was to put a 50 or 60 weight oil here, I would put like a 40 or 50 weight oil here. And that would give me all the balance that I need as far as suspension and what I needed as far as handling capabilities. And that's about it. Those are future projects, as I just mentioned. And what I'm going to be doing is bringing you guys more videos as I update this Blackout XTE Pro. Till next time, don't forget to like or subscribe. It's D, and I'm out.